I got sent a link to this interview a couple of times yesterday, and very glad that I did, because one of our all-time favorite televangelists, Kenneth Copeland, is talking about his luxury private jets once again. Now, in his defense, he was approached and asked. This wasn't him pleading for help to get new plane.
The first time we became aware of him was his own pitch to get money, because the Lord said he cannot travel commercial.
Correct.
Because he would be distracted by people when he is trying to perfect his sermon. He was being distracted by the human filth that tends to travel commercial.
He called them demons. Yeah, he called them demons. Let's play a little bit of
We'd
this.
just like to ask you about why you don't want to fly commercial. Why have you said that you won't fly commercial? You said that it's like getting into a tube with a bunch of demons. Why do you think that?
No, listen to me just a second. Of course. Not the people. The main reason is because of the need. If I flew commercial, I'd have to stop 65% of what I'm doing. That's really the main.
He worked out the numbers, and I've done the math, and it comes demons, the scum, customs, finding parking. That actually, if I'm being honest, it comes out to 64.3%, and I don't want to have to deal with that. And then, of course, below the handicap people. And dear God, that is. Listen, God bless you. I know that the Lord has visited this upon you and your sicknesses and your Make-A-Wish and all that nonsense. But I've got to get out and preach the word of the Lord. Talk about compassion. So you may have seen me step on over someone in a wheelchair.
Got slobber on their mouths.
Oh, my God. Sometimes they sit there, and I don't know what, maybe it's the foaming medication on their mouths or whatever. And, of course, you hear the story, they're in dire need of this. Cooler has a human heart in it, and we need to load this first, and all that hokum and bunk.
So the Make-A-Wish kids get in your way, too.
Oh, my God. My wish is that they go away.
You can hear him think through his words about
Kathy,
what he's going to say.
You are so right. You can almost hear the gears because he's...
And
all right, Jesus, give me a good lie. Give me a good lie.
By the way, in a moment here, he says something like, I have to pray on that. That is there.
Yeah.
I can't think of what to say right now. I have to pray on it.
Isn't it true that you want to fly commercial so that you can fly in luxury? How much money did you pay for Tyler Perry's Gulfstream jet, for example?
Well, for example, that's really none of your business, but...
Isn't it the business of your donors?
Listen, I paid... You kind of caught me off guard here, okay?
Okay, God bless. God bless you. You're a sweetheart. But if I could, without the cameras on, I would punch every last goddamn tooth right out of your head.
I think, now, I didn't watch the whole thing, but he ends up calling her baby a lot.
Oh, dear.
During this interview.
Which is really the image you want. Yeah, baby. Let me tell you something, Toots.
Toots.
Toots. Listen, I didn't come here to get, assaulted by some walking gash.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
So why don't you, but he is clearly goes from, he's got the smile.
Yes.
But he gets angry.
But, and here, so he could have deflected, and he could have gone to what he probably wants to say, which it was paid by donors and by people who believe that I need this. Because that's where all his money's coming from. Yeah. She's trying to say, isn't that a bit outlandish? Does anyone know, by the way, how much that Tyler Perry jet went for?
Not enough.
I don't know.
We can look it up, but... Yeah.
Listen, you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but this guy just looks evil. He looks
I know.
Like an evil demon and just dressed, like classic movie.
If you were to play a lying, a Jimmy Swaggart-ish preacher, this is what this dude looks like.
Yeah. And he's dressed to the nines. I mean, he's actually, it's full on. It's as luxurious as you can get. Let me continue on.
Here, I'd like to give you a chance to catch your breath and have a conversation. We don't want to catch you off guard.
I love Inside Edition. You got to get this now. Hey, you listening to me? My wife thinks Inside Edition is, oh yeah.
What does that mean?
Now,
I don't know.
Thank you, Lord. Help me. Let me pray this thing.
Well, let me just ask.
The piece you did on Mario Lopez was so insightful. and his portrayal of Slater on Saved by the Bell. And in a way, we're all saved by the bell. Like when they ring that bell to tell you that the flight is boarding, you gotta push them Make-A-Wish kids out of the way and step on the heads of the sick people to get aboard a flight. That's not right.
A really simple question. A lot of people think it's unbecoming for a preacher to live a life of luxury and to fly around in private jets. What's your response to that?
Very simple. It takes a lot of money to do what we do.
It takes a tough man to make a tender chicken. She stole that from Purdue.
We have brought over 100, let's see, the latest figures just came out, 122 million people to the Lord Jesus Christ.
Is somebody feeding him?
Oh, yeah. Somebody sitting next to him.
Say this.
I was scheduled for Lagos, Nigeria. That's a long ways. I had a week off, and I was scheduled for Peru.
Who's making that schedule? He is.
Yeah, exactly.
And I prayed about it, and I thought, I'm not missing that dedication in Jerusalem. Without the airplane that we have that I bought from Tyler Perry, and I didn't pay anywhere. And Tyler's one of the greatest guys. He made it.
He plays that Medea character. Did you see Boo and Boo 2? They were a hoot.
He made that airplane so
It looks
cheap.
like this big old black lady in a dress, and it's just so funny. She says the darndest things.
Well, this part where he stalls and distracts by talking about Tyler Perry is really, it's infuriating.
Hey, look over there. It's the Westminster Dog Show.
Help but buy it.
Well, my question then, okay, all right, but I want to get to the demons because people are very concerned about that comment.
Give me a chance here, Inside Edition. I love your eyes.
Oh, my God.
I love your eyes.
Oh, I love your eyes.
Yeah.
And I hate to tell you this, but you're nipping big time. He's feeding into. You would figure that a guy like this would have a better off-the-cuff rap, you know?
Yeah, but
I guess they're seldom confronted this way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And he's got his captive audience and knows exactly usually what he's going to tell these people.
So he's not put to task this way.
Yeah.
He gets away with it.
If you're just tuning in, it's Kenneth Copeland. I got a lot of people texting in and saying, "Who is this?" This is the guy, the televangelist who's bought all these jets over the years. Actually, he hasn't bought them.
Please, Preston, you say all these jets. It's just fine.
Yeah, that's it. And by the way, it's a $54 million jet. This was. I think that was the last one that he was asking for when he sat down with Jesse Duplantis, the other guy.
The other guy, my friend, yeah. Because we both do the Lord's work.
Yep. All right, here we go.
And here's what happened.
All right, what happened?
We flew in 21 days.
I'm trying to think.
70 hours.
70.
40,000 miles. Touched 5 continents and preached face to face personally with 125,000 people.
Do you ever...
I hate his voice.
125,000 people. Now, we went to that Lego place. And there were no Legos there. So that's an issue that they name it after a toy. I show up and there's not any toys there at all. But 125,000 people for that amount of travel is not an impressive figure.
No.
I mean, you go to some of these churches and some of these places out, like in Texas, they'll hold 20, 30,000. I mean, they go play stadiums.
Yeah, Joel Osteen.
Yes.
That whole gigantic stadium. Yeah.
Do you ever use your private jets to go visit your vacation homes, for example? Okay. Again, getting back to the comment, you said that you don't like to fly commercial because you don't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did.
And he starts getting mad.
Yeah.
Pointing.
Yep.
We wrestle not with flesh and blood, but principalities and powers.
Can you explain what you meant by...
I don't know what that means. It's actually written on the inside of my shirt here.
It sounds
It says,
impressive.
in case of danger, say this.
that
In
by
the
that
great
term?
halls of the gods and cherubs and seraphim, you will find a votive candle unto you. What does that mean? I don't know. I'm just trying to stop flying commercial, damn it.
By that term then? Just explain, because it's really simple. You said you didn't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. What did you mean?
Well, let me ask you.
Do you think that people that fly commercial are demons?
Yes,
Give
I
me a
do.
chance to talk.
I do. I really do. Because it's a bunch of nonsense. But we're talking the scum of the earth who fly commercial. Have you ever been on a flight with the kid kicking the back of your seat and there's a Joe Bob off to the left of me sucking on some piece of jerky? That ain't no way to live.
Well, what about first class? Isn't that good enough?
That's still not good enough.
No?
I don't want to be sitting next to some reality stars.
They're demons too.
Some Vanderpump chick. I got the Lord's work to do.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, at this point, just own up to it and take your private jet and go preach and do what you got to do.
Listen.
But like, you're just lying about why you're getting on a private jet.
It's not going to matter to the people who are donating because they're already suckered in. But he should just be able to say, by the way, look, I just want the money, and I really like to fly in style. And look at the car I'm driving. What did you drive up here in a Prius? So who's winning this match?
I think he eventually starts to justify the luxury in this, that the Bible says that it's okay. But let me continue on here.
Sweetheart, I'll explain this to you.
Sweetheart.
But it's a biblical thing. It's a spiritual thing.
we go.
It doesn't have anything to do with people.
The Bible is not about
Oh my
people.
God, I hate this dude.
It's not about humanity and love and compassion and generosity. I don't know what edition you're reading.
God, who are his followers?
I'm saying, man.
Dear God.
What happens is that a lot of there are some legitimately good people out there that do the Lord's work and do this sort of stuff, but there are so many people over generations have been ushered along and know nothing but these kind of preachers.
Yep, that were brought into this into this type of thing, and
I mean the fact
they think they're doing the right thing, and that if they don't follow someone like this, they're doing the wrong thing.
But the most miserable person in the world is someone who preys upon someone's genuine desire to be good and do good and benefit off that.
Here we go.
People, I love people. Jesus loves people.
I just don't like them when I'm flying. And I swear to God, and I say this in all sincerity, if Jesus was in front of me, I'd push him out of the way.
But people get pushed in alcohol. Do you think that's a good place for a preacher to be and prepare to go preach to a lot of people? When somebody in there is dragging some woman down an aisle, it made me so mad to see that on television. I wanted to punch the guy out myself. I can't be doing that while I'm getting ready to preach.
I don't want to see that nonsense. He is saying exactly what a preacher, you would want to intercede, wouldn't you want to say, let me help. You'd want to minister to those in need.
Exactly.
You'd want to be amongst the people.
Yeah.
Keep them away.
Keep 'em away.
Seriously, man. Look at this manicure. You know how much I spent on this? And you mean I got to wrangle some dumbass in the aisle of a plane? It's just not going to happen.
So you just don't like to be around the sinful people or
Hate 'em.
the hurtful
Despise
people. Is that what you're saying?
Not the people, baby. Not the people.
Baby.
A lady on that one.
Oh.
He's trying to think of what to say here. Big pause.
Back.
You're so you.
Yeah.
Back during the days that we couldn't do anything else, we had to travel commercial.
We couldn't do anything else.
Even Jesus and Moses and all the apostles, they all travel commercial. I understand. And back in the day, what is he saying?
When I went to Oral Roberts University, I flew for Oral Roberts. I'm a commercial pilot.
Is he?
Spent a lot of time in airplanes.
And you have how many planes?
We have the Gulfstream, and we still have our Citation 10. And then we have a little small airplane. But those are
Then about
then a little
4 or
one.
5 other ones and an aircraft carrier. But don't use it. I mean, it's not like we fly off that. We just take that out, for swimming purposes. I got a submarine and got a space shuttle. And I also own a couple of planets.
You have a submarine.
And I have slaves.
Oh.
Oh, jeez.
That's not legal anymore, man.
Now, Nick, and I know you're a God-fearing man, and I want to say I think you're misinterpreting the Bible.
You said you own slaves.
Well, yes, I did say that. Hey, look over there.
them all the time. And other people use them too. We have other ministries that use these. In the book of Ephesians.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, God, I love this.
In the book of what?
God, I love
Ephesians, I think he's
In the book of,
Fiji's, Fiji waters.
in the book of Fiji. Absolutely, man. The book it's a wonderful book called Goosebumps. And in the book of Goosebumps, they got this fella who looks like a mummy. And he's scaring the children awful bad. But Jesus comes into their hearts and says that I should have a jet.
Ermagerd.
How many people work for this clown? And
Well,
please
work
tell me,
is a vague term there, Casey, because many of my slaves do not work.
All right, here we
they don't work a day in their life.
No, they don't.
No.
If you love what you do,
Yep.
then you never work a day in your life unless you're being held in captivity.
All right, here's his quote again.
Use these. In the book of Ephesians.
Ephesians.
Oh, God, I love this.
Now, by the way, at this point, he's praying. He's holding her hand and he's praying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
We wrestle not with people, but with principalities,
Didn't he already say that?
Yeah, yeah.
powers,
It's the one quote he knows.
unseen things, rulers of the darkness.
It's like
of this
Kingpin.
world.
What's that?
It's like Kingpin when they did the barn raising. You know what the Bible says about
Yeah.
It's against it.
Talking about the devil, he's a very real devil. Just the same as Jesus is a very real.
Let me tell you something about the devil. He flashed commercial. Yeah, it's the devil. That's right. His former hell is getting on a commercial flight.
And I spent a lot of time on airlines. But the main thing that happened wasn't the main reason. The main reason was I could no longer do what I called to do and be on the airlines. Besides that, I need my clothes when I get there.
So rather than risk his luggage being lost, he buys a Gulfstream jet.
The idea that pops into his head that
Yep.
Listen,
okay, besides.
I'm over there in Lego or wherever it was.
Yeah.
Or Stretch Armstrong or wherever it was. Duplo. And I didn't have my underwears. I never made it to the location, and I was there. I was going commando, and my bits were dangling as I was trying to deliver the word of the Lord, and I felt uncomfortable. I felt impure and disgusting.
All right.
And you have some fancy clothes. I mean, for a pastor, you are living a life of luxury. You've got great homes.
Yes,
You've got great planes. You drive in limos, and
Wealthy man.
you're a very wealthy man.
Yes.
Yeah. And some people would say that is it appreciated?
May I add something to that? Yeah. My wealth doesn't come from offerings alone.
Because you sell things, books and DVDs.
Yes. And I have a lot of natural gas on our property.
Excuse me?
I have a lot of natural gas. I fly in a pressurized situation, and it tends to make me fall.
No, I remember us talking about the last time we talked about him because he has got like a mini airport on one of his properties, and they've leased out some of that land for natural gas rights. And so they made for the ministry and for Kenneth Copeland, they made a butt ton of money that way.
All right.
Didn't know that, did you, baby?
Now I do.
Come on, man.
Yeah, baby.
Didn't know that, did you, baby?
Sit on Daddy's lap.
Yeah. Could you imagine Jesus? Hey, how about that, baby?
Please, I really hope that there is some sort of expose documentary in the works, kind of like what they're doing with Scientology. I just...
Well, the more of this stuff, listen, but the truth of the matter is that... Swaggart was caught banging hookers in a motel. It didn't matter. Yeah. He came back and built up his ministry again. I saw a commercial for it over the weekend, and so it is what it is. And these guys, this guy. Well, you only hope that on the other end of his journey, he gets what's coming to him.
You know what I'd be more interested in, Casey, than an expose and a documentary on, and there are several people that do this type of thing, but the devout people, despite hearing and knowing the evidence that shows this is not it's not a genuine person at all, how they blindly continue to defend and support. And I would like to see those people
it's all.
interviewed.
I mean, listen, it's all of it. I send my kids to Catholic school, and Lord knows that there's a lot of stuff going on there. But
this is another. This is a wholly other. This is so outlandish. So. There's, and you can't even make it a judgment that way, because there's a lot of good that's done.
Well,
also.
that's the thing.
And there's a lot of good that's done, and if someone, I feel bad for the people, and they don't need my pity, but who are being taken advantage of. Well, this guy who are trying to rub 2 cents together and are giving one of those cents to this dickhead so that he can fly around in the lap of luxury is just disgusting.
Yeah, but while this clearly the people to blame are the ones that are pulling the scam. I still, at some point, you got to go, really? You're too stupid to see that?
Yeah.
I feel sorry for you.
I feel legitimately, compassionately sorry for those people, and I feel the 99.9% of my anger is at this individual and not the people who are ponying up.
I have to say, I'm impressed by Lisa Guerrero. I mean, this reporter didn't back down. She held her ground when he was pandering to her and insulting her and calling her babe and the things that she was saying. And she didn't. And she followed up with legit questions without getting angry or taking any of it personally.
A smart reporter in that situation through their head is going, I'm getting gold right now.
Yeah. Let him talk.
Just go for it,
Let this idiot talk and dig his own grave.
All right, I'll play just a little bit more, then we got to take a break because there's another 5 minutes of this left.
Yeah, you do. Isn't that wonderful?
Well, I guess.
Yeah.
It's wonderful for you.
Back when, and I might add another thing too, we invest from.
He has nothing to say.
I know.
He has nothing to say. You would figure with the rap, he would have something at the ready when people pose these obvious questions to him, like, where are you getting all your money? Why are you wearing, $2,000 suits? Yeah. $1,500, $2,000 suits. Why are you driving around in an armored limo?
Yep.
I don't know the exact number on last year yet, but it will run something in the neighborhood of 25 million in the poor.
In the poor.
Can't do that and be broke.
So final question is, a lot of people maybe have a misunderstanding then about what you do in prosperity preaching. So the final question is this. To those critics that say that a preacher should not be living a life of luxury, what is your response to that?
Ooh, they're wrong.
Okay.
That's it?
It's a misunderstanding.
They're really wrong. Let me expand on that. They're really, really, really wrong.
Of the Bible, that if you go into the Old Covenant, do you think the Jewish people believe you should be broke?
Are you saying that Jewish people appreciate money more than... Really?
They believe in wealth.
Some people would find that offensive.
Wait a minute now.
Talk more about the Jews, Ken.
You know about the Jews, don't you?
No, keep going.
Let me tell you something. And let me tell you something about the Irish folk. They love the hooch.
I'm not talking about some people. I'm talking about the Bible. The blessing of Abraham. Wow. Abraham was extremely wealthy, and he had a covenant with God. It's not the Jewish blessing, it's the Abrahamic blessing. God, I get excited talking about it because I love it. And I started out.
I'm pitching a religious tent in my pants.
It's a revival.
Yeah, there's a revival happening right in my shorts. It's unbelievable. The tent just went up, and the congregation's there ready for activity. Of course, I'm talking about the sperm.
Have a massive erection.
Deep in debt with nothing, which is another story. But anyway.
He is trying so hard to deflect.
Oh, yes, he is.
So hard, and she won't stop.
Anyway, we got to take a break, but that's just every time this guy gets on camera,
it's gold.
It's just you just can't believe it. Nick pulled up a listing that he is in. His wealth is over $700 million.
Number one of
televangelists.
Yes,
$700 million.
Does he have television programming that runs constantly or something?
Yeah,
I don't know.
He does apparently, but I mean, Wow. I didn't realize 700 million. You could share up a nice chunk of that and take care of a whole bunch of poor people.
Or buy more jets.
Yeah, or buy, yeah.
Listen,
I would like to know.
That's an idea.
Yeah. I'd like to know how much of his wealth goes into.
Not a lot.
Okay.
But I'm currently building a worldwide monorail system.
Okay.
And it's a monorail that has just 2 seats, the pilot seat and mine.
Here's one of the biggest houses I ever saw was outside of Atlanta. You know what? And I think it might have been Tyler Perry's old house.
Yes.
That he sold to a televangelist. By the way, somebody texted and said there's an Instagram account that highlights preachers who wear wicked expensive clothes. It's called Preachers and Sneakers. Shows modern day Instagram influencer PR. So that might be worth looking into. All right. Interesting. He's at it again.
He sure is.
Yeah, and that is Kenneth Copeland. But God bless him.
God bless you. God bless. Thank you so much for coming up and asking me these questions and showing me that I really don't know what the F I'm talking about.
Exactly.